Welcome to the 46th installment of Out Past the Rings. Today we're talking about the incredible Tentacles Ambivalence 12-inch LP that was released on May 21st of 2015. I guess we'll start with the history of it. It goes back to the Elementary Revolt blog. I believe it was run by Chris Morris, so I probably heard not the EP before this, but the EP before that was posted on Chris's blog. I checked it out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Despite it being a little heavier than some of the other stuff I was listening to at the time, there was still a rather large injection of screamo emo violence in there as well. So I interviewed the band right around the time that the previous EP before this came out. Morty? Cognito Morty? Something like that. I don't know. I forget what it's called. It's got the skeleton with the flowers on it on the cover. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's even heavier than the EP before. So I interviewed the band on the blog. Lars from React with Protest kept noticing that I was saying all these nice things about Tentacles, so I would assume two things kind of happened. I think Tentacles took notice of it, and Lars, who runs with React with Protest, was helping release the 12-inch, along with Dead Tank Records, Deadwood, and IFB Records. So I kind of got brought in. I was a huge fan of Tentacles, and I still very much am a huge fan. In January of 2015, I made the trek out to Austin, to the Blood Alliance Fest that was put on there, and got to meet the band and hang out with them and see their last show, which was not their last show, but it was still worth the drive. Frank, who had been playing guitar in Tentacles, had left the band for the recording, or the writing, I guess it was the recording, I don't know, of the LP, but did come back to play at least that show and perhaps other ones after, I don't know. Frank and Matt were also in Among Light right around the time that Tentacles was all dissolving, I would say, because I also saw them at ABA Fest when I went, and as a two-piece, just absolutely phenomenal. Miatej would have had a split with them had they not disbanded after putting out their demo. So I think there were 300 made, all on black 12-inch vinyl with reversed jackets, which are, I find, quite nice, and an insert. We only have 5 copies left in the Canada International store, and maybe 3 or so max in the US store. And I think after this Out Past the Rings, combined with just the fact that we're selling more stuff now, I don't expect these to last for the rest of the year. So I strongly recommend checking this out if you haven't heard it and like the super heavy stuff. I don't really know what I would liken it to. There's like a bit of Converge, a bit of Rorkel, a bit of Shikari. It's very, very heavy, and the vocals are just some of the most ridiculous that I've ever heard, and I mean that in the best possible way. The vocalist, Doroteo, I believe, was her name, just the most beautiful, kind, kind of like high-pitched voice when talking, but holy moly, you see them on stage, and it's death out the mouth. It's beautiful, and we'd be fucking up hard if we did not mention the fact that Matt, the drummer, absolutely phenomenal drummer. He was going to be the Miatej drummer on tour, but it just didn't pan out, so that was obviously unfortunate. My favorite track on this, the 5 tracks in the middle are all about 1 to 3 minutes, and they're bookended by the longer songs. The first one, A Warm Body, being just over 4 minutes. Fantastic opener, and then you got the closer, Uproot, which is 8:04, I think, and it is just a behemoth. Both of those tracks, I think, are my 2 favorite, but, like My Mortal Chord and Ambivalence and Pillars of Sol, they're all really, really good, whether they be the big, massive ones or the short, quick stab to the stomach ones. So obviously, I'm gushing quite a bit about this record. If you have not heard it, you got to check it out. I was talking to Lars, I think 2 years ago, and we both agreed that it's probably one of the best releases that we've put out, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people heard it when it came out. So hopefully, I can hear more influence, not necessarily sonically, but from people. For example, one of my friends is talking about starting a Tentacles-inspired band, which just made me get really, really excited. So yes, please do that, good friend of mine. And the band definitely broke up. Oh, you know what was going to happen? This was talked about in the USK, Out Past the Rings. There was going to be a Tentacles USK 7-inch split, which then turned into a 10-inch split, which then turned into a non-split. So I actually have a unfinished instrumental, like 8 or 10 minute track from Tentacles that was, as far as I know, never finished. That would have been the song that was going to end up on that. So maybe one day you'll see the light of day and get finished. I don't know. I'm going to stop babbling and just say that you need to check out Tentacles. And until next time, this shirt's amazing.